Yeah, Mayor sent him a link.
Oh, good. It's the 24th of July. This is Rabbi Levitt, Gemora. Alan called me a couple of times. I tried calling him back, but his line is busy now.
Yeah, I called him after Mayor sent the link to tell him that there's a link there for him, it wasn't what do you call it? Zamin. His phone wasn't on.
Yeah. All right. I'll try to call him again in a few minutes.
Okay, good morning, Phil.
Good morning. I'm on the road, so I'll be with my granddaughter, so I'll be on and off. Don't worry. If I turn this camera off or the sound off, it's too loud. So if you need the background, I'll stop the link. Actually, I'm gonna turn it off now, and then if I have to say something, I'll turn it back on.
Okay. Oh, that's looks like a pergola in somebody's house.
Can't hear you. You're muted.
Yeah, he said he was going to turn it off because he's got a lot of background sounds.
Okay. Very good. Okay, so we will start. We will resume. Oh yes, we were talking about the mitzvah of Kinyan Sudar and the shoe of Boaz, or whether it was Boaz's shoe or whether it was Ploni Ammoni's shoe.
Right.
Okay, so we did that, and now we go further. We're up to Maishna. Gemora asks Maishna, and this can be found about 20 lines from the bottom of the page. The first word in the line is Bekoni.
It's on 7A2, right-hand column, third paragraph.
Okay. So we go to Lou. Lou is going to read for us.
My
Going to read for us, yeah.
Rav Chisda. How is this different from the ruling taught by Rav Chisda? Damar Rav Chisda, that Rav Chisda said, gate biada umeshicha biado. The bill of divorce, the bill of divorce is in her hand, and the string is in his hand. And the string is in his hand.
The get is attached with a string. So she's got the get in her hand, but he's got the string, which is connected to the get, and so if he would pull on this string, he'd be able to pull the get out of her hand and back to himself.
Im yachol le natko v'lahavio etzlo. If he is able to pull and bring it towards himself, Eina Migoreshes, she is not divorced. The imlav, but if not, Migoreshes, she is divorced.
Right.
So
right. Okay.
this contradicts the idea that once it's in her hand, she has possession of it.
Um, so I guess that's the way the Gemora understood the previous statement of Rav Mesharshia, which we said over there with the Sudar, since he's toughest by Sholosh al Sholosh, we say that's called he has it. And over here we're saying she doesn't have it if it could be taken away from her.
Right.
Okay. Okay, so we got a number of Rashis over here to read. The first Rashi we want to read is Rashi Dibra Maskil Get Biyada.
You want Phil? You want me to read?
I don't see Phil here.
Okay. I'll give it a try then.
I don't have the Gemara, so I can't read the Rashis. I'm around. I'm listening. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, great.
And there's just no stopping background noise. That's why I turn it off.
Okay, get biyada. The get is in her hand. Shinat knew law that he gave it to her. Umashicha, and he can pull it. Shikashor ba biado im yesh koach ba'oso but shiachol le nisko leget miyada ula havio etzlo. Okay, so Mashicha, shikashor. What is shikashor?
And it's connected to, it's tied to. The Mashicha is the chut. The Mashicha is the chut. The chut is the string.
Right. So the string is tied to the get that's in her hand.
The ado, it's in his hand. The string is in his hand.
String is in his hand. If he has the strength, or if it has the strength, in that string, that he's able the neat ko is what, to take it?
Yeah, actually, Lenatek generally means to remove something remove something, take something out from where it is. So it doesn't really mean to pull, but it means that if this Mashicha is connected to the get in such a way that im yesh koach but also put, if there is the there is the power in this chut, shiachol, that he is able anatko leget miodo to take out or remove the get from her hand, from being in her hand.
Uleha vo etzlo. Then
Right.
it becomes by him. It becomes his.
And to bring it, lahavio, to bring
himself.
it etzlo, to him,
To him.
to himself.
So in other words, if he can yank it out of her hand.
Right. If he could pull on this string, and by means of pulling on this string, which is connected to the get, he would be able to remove it from her hand and bring the get to himself, even though it's right now in her hand, the get. So then what would the din be? Eino megareshes. She's not divorced with that get which she's holding in her hand. There's a Rashi over here, Eino megareshes.
Eino megareshes. She's not divorced. Alma lav nemina he. What's
Alma lav nesina he.
Nesina he.
Yeah.
So what's Alma?
So we see.
So we see that it's not. And what's Nesina?
A giving. It's not a giving.
It's not a giving if the giving is such that it can be yanked back.
Yeah. Right.
Interesting.
So it's got to be given to her in such a way that she has control over it, to the exclusion of anybody else. I mean, really to the exclusion of the one who gave it.
Right.
In this case. That's when it's called an asina. That is called that it's a giving. Okay. So that's all Rashi explained over here. He didn't explain really what's the Gemora's question of my shna, neither of Chitz. They didn't really explain that at all. But in other words, here in the case of Rav Misharshi with the Sudar, we said yesterday that the Sudar is in the hand of the person. He's holding, he's toughest sholosh al sholosh. So it's regarded as though that portion of the Sudar is his.
So I'm getting
And we don't.
I'm getting emails from Alan that he's trying to get back in.
Okay, let's see. I don't see him trying to get in on the participants list.
I'm going to call him again. His line is busy. All right, I'll email him. Let's see, this email was sent 1 minute ago, so he's actively sending these emails. Your line is busy. Call me.
What? Wait a minute. Wait. So he sent an email on his computer, and he didn't see that at 11:25 a link was sent to him, or maybe he wasn't able to use it.
Yeah. He sent the email at 12:06, and it's now
Okay.
12:08 according to my clock.
Oh, maybe he didn't look back to his email at 11:25. Maybe
Right. Yeah, he
he
says
could have gotten 50.
he's waiting to be connected.
Okay.
Looks like he joined my room. He went to my link. I got a message said he's trying to connect to me, but I don't have a link. I don't have a section opened. So that's the problem, I think. I'm going to send him another link.
שגורי הברייסה האיסי אומר שאין אדם זוכר באחיזה של חלק מחפץ. Okay, yeah, that seems to be what the principle was that we were supposed to be learning yesterday from Rav Masharshia, that once he grabs on to the Sudar, even a portion of the Sudar, not the whole Sudar, but a portion of it, so then it's regarded as though that portion which he is holding on to, it's regarded as though it would be like cut from the rest of the Sudar, and that he would have acquired that portion that he's holding on to. And like that, the whole Kinyan would be effective, and he would, with that he was Kona the Sudar, that affects the Kinyan of the article in question that the buyer wanted to acquire from the seller, without getting into the question of who's the one who's holding on to it, because we're not going to get into that again. but so therefore, the Gemora is really asking when it says "My Shna," from what Reb Chisda says, the Gemora is asking, it's not enough to simply hold it in a halfway, because if somebody else has control over another section of it, then it's not called that it was given. And it seems to be that was the Gemora's question. It's not 100% clear, but at any rate, let's see how the Gemora responds to the question that it asked of my Shna Mider Rav Chisda. And
please check on Alan again. He's trying the new link.
Oh yeah, here I see him now.
Ah, there he comes.
Mine finally made it.
Okay, good, Alan.
Yeah, finally made it. Finally.
Happens once in a while, too often.
The problem was you were trying to connect to me, to my ID instead of the rabbi's.
Okay. 782.
Okay, we're up to Hasem Krisis Ba'inen.
What page?
This is
7A2,
Got there.
right-hand column, last paragraph.
Rob Papa.
No. Gemora
was
answers.
You said 782 bottom.
Right, the right-hand column. You're
Oh,
you're
okay.
looking at the left-hand column.
Okay, Gemara answers, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, you want me to read it?
yeah. Take it away, Alan.
Okay. Hasam Barisus Abinon. There, with regard to divorce, we require that he give her a document of severance, and he must therefore give it to her in a way that severs the connection between them. The core, and there is no such severance where he continues to hold on to the document by means of a string. Here, however, with regard to how often we require only that the buyer perform an act of giving, and there is such giving even when he is still holding on to the kerchief.
Okay, so the Gemara is answering that the standard for what's regarded as a giving of a get is a different standard. It's a higher standard. More is required in order for the get to be regarded as having been given to the wife in order to affect the gerushin. It's called this is what the pasuk calls it. Nasin biyoda sefer krisus. He puts into her hand a sefer krisus. The Gemara, the pasuk calls the divorce bill a sefer of krisus. And chorus is to make a cut. Rashi has a little bit to say about this, whereas the standard for in the case of the Sudar, there's no requirement of there's not such a high level requirement of krisis. It just requires a giving, an ordinary giving. So it doesn't preclude the fact that it was given by virtue of the fact that he's only holding on to a certain portion, sholosh of it, and that even somebody else might be holding on to the other portion. Okay. Rashi, Dibra Maskil, Krisus.
Krisus, cut off, cutting. Habedila she yiyu mubedalim ze mize v'harei ha godim haim bechut ze. Okay, so I don't know this word bedila.
Havdalah.
Oh, Havdalah, to make a separation, that it should be separating this from this, that we see Hagodim. What's Hagodim?
Something is good. it's together. It's not separated. It's the opposite of Havdalah, a good.
They are together because of the string.
Yeah, there's no, as long as he holding on to the string, which is connected to the get, so it's not called that the get is mavdil, that the get is in her hand and it's moved out from him.
Right.
It's not separated from him. Whereas in the case of the Sudar, we don't need the Sudar to be a crisis between the seller and the buyer. We just need that it's called that that whoever it is that has to have it in his hand in order to make the Kenyan Sudar. It's just gotta be a Nasina that he's holding on to it. That's already called a Nasina.
Right.
So if it's in his hand, so it's good. Doesn't matter that somebody else would be able to also holding or also could take it away, I guess. Okay. Omar Rava. Back in the Gemora, Omar Rava. Roy, you want to continue?
Turning over to 7A3.
Yes, 7A3 on the left-hand column, the second paragraph, the Gemara discusses.
The Gemara discusses another rule pertaining to the case of two litigants who enter the court holding on to a cloak. Amarava, im hayasa talis, muzacheves, even if the cloak was made of gold thread, it is divided. The Gemara asks, Pashita, it's obvious. The material of the cloak is surely not a determining factor. The Gemara answers, look, Rava's ruling is not obvious. Tziricha dekoe de hava the Metzia. It is required in a case where there is a strip of gold in the middle of the cloak. So you do divide it. If there's a strip of gold there in the middle of the cloak, it's still divided. The Gemara is not satisfied with this answer. Hey, Nami, Pishta. In that case, too, it is obvious that the cloak is divided equally. The Gemara answers, Rava's ruling is not obvious. I'll continue reading.
Let's see if we have a Rashi that explains exactly what's going on with this gold part of the talus. Yeah, we have a Rashi over here. Dibur Maskal im haisa talus mushevetz.
Im haisa talus musheves. If the talus, musheves is gold, means gold?
Yeah, so it's got some type of a gold thread over there, or threads.
Klomar afilu hi musheves kolkim. That is to say, even if it is gold, we divide it.
Yeah, so we're not really getting what's the point over here. What's the finish? It's really unclear over here.
Well, let's say let's say we have, instead of a talus, the talus is just representative of any beggar, right? We'll say we've got here a jacket that's a uniform, which is a beautiful uniform with braid and gold and everything else and buttons and stuff on it. So it's obviously very valuable.
Let's see.
How does that work? Which was what the Rabbonim have said with what Rava said.
Well, what would the Gemora is arguing over here whether this what Rav is saying is obvious and self-evident. So we don't. What the thing is we don't really understand. I don't understand what are the two sides of the argument. Why does one side say it's obvious that you're going to divide it, even in that case, and the other side says no, it's not so obvious? What are they arguing about? What's the point of dispute?
Devalues the gold by cutting it in half, or devaluing devaluing the what do you call it, the garment, spoiling it, making it useless.
No. They're not talking about physically dividing it. They're talking about how you figure out who gets what. If there's gold thread and it's not evenly distributed. Let's say there's a bar of gold thread going through the talus, and let's say one person where he's holding the talus is closer to that bar of thread than the other person. Then the one who's closer is going to say, "I get more of the gold than you do."
Right.
Okay.
But we're actually talking about selling the talus, is it? And
yes,
yes, and dividing it monetarily. Okay.
Okay. Well,
thinking about dividing the spoils.
Okay. See, so far what we have, the Gemara said, if the talus was had gold, we say Holkin also. We say the same din as we say by the ordinary talus that didn't have any gold. Holkin, presumably what that means, equally between the two of them. The Gemara says, Pshita, why would you think there'd be a difference? Gemara says, Lo tzricha. Rava needs to say this din. It's not obvious because we're talking about a case where the koi dahava be mitzoi. The gold is in the middle of the talus. And that is supposed to make it that it's not obvious that they would divide it. So before we knew that the gold was in the middle, we said it was obvious that they should divide it equally. Now that we see that the gold is in the middle, so now we're saying it's not obvious that they would divide it equally. I'm not sure why that would be. To me, it doesn't. The Gemara doesn't read. Don't know.
Well, you got to read on where it says low.
Oh, so now the Gemara says ha nami pshita. The Gemara says that also is, even if you'll tell me that the gold is in the middle, that also is obvious that they'll divide it equally. On that, the Gemara says lo tzricha. Oh, so with this part we didn't read yet. Let's read from the lo tzricha, the mikarev legabe dechad. We didn't get that yet. Okay, so we're up to the case where it says lo tzricha the mikarev legabe dechad. It's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, like 12 lines up. The first word in the line is nami pshita.
It's on 7A3, left-hand column, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, sixth paragraph. The Gemara answers.
Did you want me to read or what? Or who
Yeah. Your turn.
I read before, but okay. Lo tzricha de mikaro legabe dechad. It is required in a case where the gold strip is closer to one of the disputants. Mahu de sama. One might have thought the Amar lay that he, that's the disputant closer to the strip, may say to the other person, Pelug Habe, divided this way, that is along the line that runs parallel to the side of the cloak held by the disputants. Thus, only one of them receives the gold strip. Ka Mashma Lan, Rava therefore teaches us the Amar Lay, that the other party may respond to him, may Chazis defal gas Heichi. Why do you see fit to divide the cloak that way? Look, instead, let us divide the cloak this way, meaning along the line that runs perpendicular to the sides held by disputants, and thus the gold strip is divided equally.
Okay. Let's see, Rashi. Plog hachi.
I think we're out of time, Rabbi.
Oh, saved by the bell. Okay, so have a great day, everybody.
Thank you, Rabbi.
All the best.
Thank
Glad
you.
you're able to get back, Alan.
Yep.
Nice to see you again, Alan. See you, Phil.
We'll see.
Enjoy
Paul.
your.
Nice to see Phil.
Alan, I have to call you this afternoon because my son is wants me to help him with something.
Okay, all right.
Okay. Bye for now. See
Bye-bye.
you.
All the best, Roy.
Thank you very much. Thank you. See you.
Bye, Alan. Bye, Lou.
Bye-bye.